Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation, along with my wifey, run everything, do everything, amazing, amazing, amazing wifey, Jessica Lee. Tonight, we are going to talk to you about a no-brainer solution to help you to relax this summertime. So it's been a very busy weekend. It's been a very busy summer here at Inspire Nation. We're working on a TV pilot. We're launching programs such as iMeditations. We've, of course, doing our daily interviews, our coaching. We're hiring staff. And now we have all of our possessions from a storage unit all the way back from, I believe it was 2012, that has shown back up at the house and is demanding to be reckoned with. All of this, like what you have going on in your life, is enough to drive one mad. And I'm sure you're experiencing the same thing this summer. I call it too much-itis. Too much-itis. Too much to do, too much on the mind, too many places to be, too much we believe we need to do and say and be and have and achieve, or at least take care of, to make us happy. And that's what we're going to help cure you from tonight. Your too much-itis. Before that, since we do have a whole bunch of things going on, iMeditations, one of our things that we've been working on. This week, we will have free meditations for you on our website. Woohoo! Maybe just a day or two away. My guess is that with our too much-itis, it may be Friday before we have our letter sequence complete. But if you come on over to inspirenationshow.com and sign up for our newsletter, you'll get free meditations as soon as they're live. And we'll give you information about our iMeditations program coming up, which we're working to have the largest collection of meditations in the world. You know, just a little small thing. Largest collection of meditations in the world. We also have very, 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 very few spots for coaching left for the entire summer. So if you want coaching with me, you need to act fast. Come on over to inspirenationshow.com/coaching. Get signed up for a free one-on-one strategy session with me to see if coaching is right for you. Those spots are extremely limited at this point, and I have barely any more room to take on coaching clients. So if you want in, I would love to help you, but you need to get signed up now. Also, we are 100% supported by you, our listeners, and our viewers. So if you want to help support the show, if you like behind-the-scenes information, videos, all sorts of backstage goodness, and we've even started to crack out the alter ego, and I won't tell you anything about him, but his name is Mick Sandler. If you want to check that out, come on over to inspirenationshow.com/patron. Actually, it's patron.com/inspirenation. And you can sign up to become an Inspire Nation Backstage Pass member and help support the show. You help us keep going strong. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, now let's talk about the no-brainer solution. Hint, you're not going to like it. I know I didn't either. My ego is still railing against it. Less is more. It's something that I had a medium tell me about 2 weeks ago. She was right. I knew it. My ego, though, wants to do, and go. Less is more. If you can make that your mantra this summer, you will feel so much better, so much more relaxed. We always want to do, go, like finding more things to do on a vacation. We'll get that one extra thing in here, that one extra thing in there, and then our vacation goes from something that's relaxing to something that's stressing us out. Like Friday night, we were invited to a townwide block party. Band playing, so we've got music, we've got friends. We go there early so that we still have time to get to our sitting on the lawn by the symphony in Aspen, which really makes our hearts shine. And we're thinking we're going to do both events, which is just crazy. That is the nutty making that we all do. Instead, we got there, we thought about the philosophy, less is more. And we didn't stay for the whole concert to try to make up for not going to Aspen to hear the symphony. We stayed for what filled our cup, and then we left before our cup was flowing over. So we want to say, how much less can I do on the weekend? How much less can I do in the evenings? How much less can I do before vacation? In fact, going back to the evenings, going to do-itis, one of the biggest symptoms of our to-do-itis, I'd like to get one more thing done before I go to sleep. Just one more thing. The challenge with that is we say we're going to bed at a reasonable time. And we say just want to get that one more thing done. And then an hour goes by, 2 hours go by, and then we are exhausted the next day because we try to squeeze in one extra thing. Why is that? Because we are addicted to our doingness. It's something we were taught ever since we were kids, that if we're not doing, then we're not being productive, and that we are wasting time. What if it's exactly the reverse? If the non-doing is the important time, the time spent with friends, the time spent with family, the time spent hanging out on your deck with the birds or with your kitty cats, or just simply doing nothing. What if that's the most important time? And that's what fills your soul. And that's what recharges your batteries. That doesn't mean you're going to suddenly become a couch potato and not get anything done. Nothing could be further from the truth. We all have this inner desire to either do, be, or achieve, or at least create. But when we back off, we have the energy to get into the creative process. So what do I want you to do? I want you to grab a blank piece of paper, and I want you to circle in the center doings. And then I want you to put bubbles all around this, attached with little spokes. So it's kind of a spoke and a hub of all of the different doings in your life. This is in essence a mind map. And I want you to map out all of the different doings that are going on. I meant to bring mine here. I guess it's hiding at the moment. If you saw my doings from last week, not a square inch of this, I guess it was 9 by 12 sheet of paper, not a square inch didn't have a bubble or a doing in it. That's insanity. That's madness. So you want to get all of these things down. And then you either want to highlight simply the most important things. Thank you so much, Kekin. You want to highlight the most important things, or you want to do red light, yellow light, green light. Red light, highlight those things that have to be done this minute, are critical. Yellow, things that are important, but if you don't get them done this minute, the roof's not going to burn down or the house isn't going to burn down. And green, things that are important but don't need to get done this minute. So that's one option, is highlighting with colors. The other option is to flip to a new sheet of paper, refer back to the original one, and only get down your top most important things. This will take trimming. And it's going to require you to be brutally honest with yourself about what can I actually get done and what really needs to get done. Because if everything is a top priority, then nothing is a top priority. So ask yourself, what happens if I don't get this done today? I lose my job? Okay, probably need to take care of it. I will lose my home? Okay, I probably need to take care of it. It'll be an uncomfortable situation? Ooh. Maybe that one can wait. After all, for this process, we are going to have to learn how to use that 2-letter N word, no. We're going to have to learn how to say no to others. We're going to have to learn how to say no to ourselves. Now, you need to be completely open with yourself. Have talks with yourself. Walk along and ask yourself, what can I cut? Don't worry, you won't look crazy ever since Bluetooth came along. People think that you have a headset on, but have talks with yourself and be completely honest. Journal, write. Certainly do automatic writing, and I'm always going to plug our automaticwriting.com program because to me that is the single most important thing we have done to change our lives. Automaticwriting.com. Do automatic writing about it. Go out into nature and ask, what is most important? This is also a great question to ask when writing from your future self. So you could sit down, go into meditation for a few minutes, and then pretend that you are you from, let's say, a year from now, or 5 years from now. It could even be longer, 10 years from now. I'd say tighten it up a little bit. And write from your future self and see what she or he has to say when you ask them, what's most important? What do I really need to get done now? And they will share what's most important. Now, if they share, well, you need to do this, and you need to do that, and you need to do the other thing, that's not your future self. That's your ego speaking. Grab a fresh sheet of paper, dump out everything that the ego needs to barf on you, shred it, and be done with it. This helps heal your inner child. This helps heal your ego. And the ego doesn't know the difference between the written word and the actual emotion or event. So if that's coming out, get it all out on paper. Let it barf all out and then shred it and be done with it. Check in with your body. That's where it's coming out for me, ladies and gentlemen. My body is getting sore, really sore. I am sitting too much. And my body is saying, we need to get moving. We need to get the stomach moving. We need to get the energy moving. We need to get me up and off of the chair and outside, away from the doingness. They say the body never lies. And it's true. If you're getting aches, if you're getting creaks, if you're getting inflammation, if you're having trouble sleeping, if you're having trouble with digestion, if you feel heart palpitations, if you have headaches, if you feel exhausted, if you feel sore, these are all signs of too much itis. Ask your body, write it out. What do you need? What can I do to help you? I am here to serve you, rather than, as we've been taught in the West, you are here to serve me. Because so many people in the West have too much itis and push through the body. In fact, I went for a bike ride today, and I wonder if it was a good thing or not. My body was sore at the beginning. Usually it loosens up. Today it didn't. I get to ask myself, was I really listening to my body? And that's an excellent question. Ask your family as well. Family. Jessica, have I been doing too much?
Yeah, since 2009.
Oh boy. So, ask your family. And if they haven't seen you in a while, then you know it's true. Cut out the things that don't matter. For instance, social media. I pick on social media a lot, but I think it deserves it. And I could still get better at it myself. But social media seems to be so important to all of us. It keeps us connected in this life, in this world, which is all electronics. At least we have friends on social media. However, it can be a band-aid or a crutch to keep us from what matters most. And the more time that we're on social media, the worse we seem to feel. So instead, work on your close connections. Work on your time with nature. Work on your time with the animals, or time with your kitties, or with your poochies. Work on time, even just walking out your front door. But make sure you prioritize the thing that make your heart sing. For instance, Jessica, can I put you on the spot for a minute? Are you there? What did you do last night?
I went to a singing class.
Ooh, talking about making your heart sing. How was it?
It was a little scary at first.
Yeah.
But it was a small class, and everyone else there was really laid back, and everybody seemed to be at a beginner level.
Awesome. So doing what your heart sing, you are now taking singing lessons, and you are also
taking watercolor classes.
Yes.
And I have a basket weaving class this Thursday.
So you do what, thank you. You do what makes your heart sing, and particularly in the creative process. In the creative process restores you. These are not, in essence, doings that are unimportant, trying to fill time or trying to be productive. They are the things that refuel and recharge your soul. So ask yourself, what is it for you? For myself, it's running, it's exploring, it's time with Jessica, it's time with the kitties, it's time with the friends, and it's time literally being outside on the deck with the birds. When I used to coach students, parents would tell me, little Johnny, little Susie doesn't have time for soccer anymore. They don't have time for cross country. They don't have time for art. They don't have time for the piano. It's time for them to get serious, to buckle down. I would say the exact reverse is what's in order. In fact, Dr. Srini Pillai of Harvard completely agrees with me. He's written books such as Tinker, Dabble, Doodle, Try, which talks about how our best ideas come out of the not doing. So even if you are being hyper productive, and I want to challenge you about that, don't take away the personal time. When we're addicted to doings, we think development. I must keep developing. I must keep growing. I must keep producing is what matters most. Production is one of the most dangerous things on the planet and to the planet. We keep thinking the economy needs to grow. We need to produce more as a country. We need to produce more as a planet, aka we need to strip the planet of more natural resources. We need to heat this place up. We need to deforest in the process. And you can see what the result is of overproduction. It's the same with us. If we base on our happiness, on how much we've done, on how much we've produced, on how productive we are being, then we start to cook ourselves as well. Now, if you can't slow down, no matter how much the rational mind wants to, there are some things you can do. What do I mean by that? I mean, when we have too much itis and it's been a lifelong thing, then when we sit on the couch, we start to look at our watch or our phone and say, I need to get busy. I need to do things. In fact, let me pull out my phone and answer some emails while I'm doing this. Let me work on some work. Let me. Because we feel guilty if we're not doing. That is until we completely crash and burn, but that doesn't serve our hearts as well. Then we're fairly catatonic. It's a very slow recharge. I used to have a Prius, and if you drove the Prius too far, it went on limp mode, and it took quite a while to get back from limp mode. We as people don't want to go into limp modes ourselves. So you don't want to push yourself to the place and crash and burn. So here's what you want to do if you feel you're revved up and you can't slow down or it doesn't feel safe to slow down. First off, you can tap on that if it doesn't feel safe. I love myself fully and completely, even though I'm terrified of slowing down, even though I'm afraid if I slow down, everything will fall apart, even though I'm afraid if I slow down, I will become a bum. I will be out on the streets. I will be homeless. I will be. You can tap on it. For myself, I'm having long conversations with myself and body about it. Jessica doesn't see it, but when I'm driving down the road, I'm seeing how much love right now I can send to my heart. I send love. I send love. I send love. It's okay, heart. It's okay, heart. It's okay, heart. I'm letting the heart know that I am slowing down and that it's going to be all right. I'm also working to reprogram my mind when I go to sleep. I'm having conversations with myself. I'm letting myself know we're trimming back here. We're working on this there. What are you most concerned about before we go to sleep? Not to bring it up to be scared of it, but how can I help you? In essence, I am trying to step out of the driver's position and get into the healer's role. And I love Emil Coué's mantra. In fact, we have an episode coming out with Mitch Horowitz. You may have heard it already if you listen to the audio, and it's coming out on YouTube in a few days as well. And Emil Coué's mantra is, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. And what that means is you can relax into everything. It is all improving. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Now, this doesn't mean every day in every way I'm striving. Every day in every way I'm pushing. Every day in every way I'm trying. Quite the contrary. It can mean every day in every way I'm more in love with myself, or in like with myself, or simply compassionate about myself. And it means every day in every way I can treat my heart better. So ask yourself, what can you do to love yourself more? What can you do to back off of the throttle and feel better and better each and every day? That, more than anything else, is what matters most. Your heart knows it. Your gut knows it. And somewhere on the inside, a tiny little niggling of a voice that's been screaming at you knows it too. So that's it. Let's get busy, with the business of being unbusy. And yes, the tempo is set by the drummer of the day, and that's what you do first thing in the morning. So I don't really want to add a doing, but we can simply add a being activity first thing in the morning. I know that sounds contradictory. Get out of bed, use the bathroom, brush your teeth, grab a pillow, sit on it, and simply be. The be time you take first thing in the morning helps set the tempo for the entire day ahead. So that's it from here. We are going to open it up to questions now. I love to ask Jessica, to put her on the spot, and she's going to be like, and ask, hey, is there anything you want to add? My guess is she's not even here because she is with you in the chat room. But I will throw it over to him to see if there's anything that she does want to add. And if not, we are going to jump into questions. So let me go like this, and then people will be able to see my beautiful wife.
My question is, do you ever throw your mind map out the window for the day, or your to-do list, for those who don't use mind maps?
Well, it's interesting. It's a brilliant question. So a week and a half ago, and I wish I knew exactly where it is at the moment, a week and a half ago, we made a mind map that was so completely overwhelming that I did not want to look at it anymore. So I paused for the day. I knew what I needed to get done. And then the next day made a smaller micro mind map that was a lot more reasonable.
So my question really is, do you ever just decide to not do anything, like?
So through last summer, I know where you're going. Through last summer, I took off every Saturday. It was, I grew up Jewish. I consider it the Sabbath. It's a label at this point, but I wanted to not work from sunset on Friday night to sunset Saturday night. I don't have that necessarily philosophy this year. I think I get to go back to it because we've been in the build phase, but I think more or less I still am doing that. I throw myself out to a concert on Friday night, and rarely am I doing anything work-wise, whether I want to or not, until Saturday evening. I did that for the 4th of July as well. And I think based on your smirking, you're encouraging me to do even more of that.
No, I'm encouraging you to look at the camera.
I can do that as well. So
I was hoping you would mimic me.
So leading the witness here, where are you going with things?
Where am I going with things?
With your question. Are you suggesting that we do more of letting go of that map for the day? We're having days.
I think, well, for me, if I made a to-do list, it would get really long.
Yep.
And I would never get to a to-do list that was blank.
Yep.
Because I'd always be adding to it. And so I just have to not look at it some days.
And I'm not, just for the record, a fan of to-do lists. I'm a fan of maps because the maps don't set our nervous system until we've filled every square inch. Don't set our nervous systems on edge the same way that a list does. Lists are like outlines or like school or like requirements. And the thing about a list, just like you're saying, is when you scratch something off and you go, you scratch that off of your to-do list, then 3 more things pop up in your mind that you get to add to it. And so if you look at your list at the end of the day, you often feel, I didn't accomplish anything. What's wrong with me?
Yeah, and what I'm saying is I enjoy the feeling of not having to accomplish anything.
Mhm.
And I might just end up accomplishing something that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
But I like not having that pressure and just seeing what comes up.
I think for myself, a balance is necessary. When we lived in Maui, I didn't wear a watch.
Mhm.
And I went by island time. And I'm not sure much of anything got done. Things that should, in quote, have taken a month took a year. And I really lost track of time. So maybe it's my Virgo nature coming out. It's the rare place that it does. It's time management, is trying to balance the beingness with the doingness. Now, one of our big goals, and there's an irony in here of getting more people on board, more assistants on board, coming up with more systems, is to really allow me to back off the throttle. And it's almost as if I'm in a hurry to back off. I'm in a hurry to build all of the pieces so that I can breathe. But if I'm not careful, that can take me out of the here and now. And that's my challenge to work on right now. You're just going.
Yes.
So should we open it up to some questions?
Yeah. Let's see. Well, Carol stated that she's hoping to meet Mick in person.
Oh my gosh.
So for those of you who are just joining us, maybe you can share a little bit about who Mick is.
Well, I can share about the alter ego, but I'm not going to bring out my alter ego.
Okay. Right. So you can go to patreon.com/InspireNation to check out Michael's alter ego named Mick.
Yeah. So Mick has been around ever since we were traveling book tour. Oh my gosh, I want to say it's 2011, something like that. May have been even earlier than that.
2010.
2010.
I think.
And we were cracking in the Northwest, maybe too many doings, and we were boogieing our way back to Colorado, and we stopped at a I want to call it a dinosaur farm.
Yeah, I didn't know what to call it besides dinosaur tourist trap.
So it had the giant dinosaur outside, and then I picked up a stuffed animal dinosaur inside. In fact,
Oh yeah.
in fact, Dino is in the other room right here, and I had my service dog Sawa with me, and we went around in this dinosaur park with Dino and Sawa, a little white Brittany setter, and my character, my persona of Mick came out, and it was, I think, raucously entertaining. And so this is Dino with Sawa's service vest.
Got a lot of bling on.
He does have a lot of bling. So this is where I keep my beads. And then this is Sawa's service dog vest. She passed on many years ago now, but you can see a picture of Sawa smiling there, so you can catch that. And yeah, this was the day that Mick Sandler was born, the day that we got Dino, and then we have the blinky lights on here that were also Sawa's as well.
And Sawa the dog impersonated a goat from Jurassic Park.
Oh, and that's a whole story. That I don't know where those videos. I don't know where those videos are. But if you do find those videos, I am open for posting them on Patreon for people.
Okay.
Awesome. All right.
They should be watched.
And they should be watched. So we're going to bring Mick out of the closet a little bit. So, which sounds kind of all sorts of wrong. But all right. So what kind of questions do we have? And Carol, we will see if you get to meet Mick in person or not.
Well, whenever Mick comes out, an audience just naturally congregates.
This does happen. Questions. We're going through.
Nobody has questions.
Nobody has questions tonight. What's most important on your mind right now? Most pressing?
Well, I hadn't touched my my watercolors for a few days, and that became very pressing.
Yeah.
but I just did before this live stream. So with that out of the way, it's getting eye meditations up and running.
Yeah.
It's not.
But let's go back to your drawing,
Mm-hmm.
because if I were coaching you, and I don't do that anymore, but I could, but if you wanted me to, but if I were coaching you,
coach your spouse.
It is.
It's not really recommended. Well, yeah, I think it works for some Olympians somehow.
Yeah, but that's more of sports coaching rather than life coaching. But what I would say is we get to front load happiness. And your ego, as mine can do, would give you a list of why you can't front load happiness. But I challenge you, I challenge me, I challenge everybody listening to see, is there a way I can get my creative thing in first thing in the day? I can get my God source universe or giant cheeseburger in the sky time first thing in the day. Is there a way I can do things early in the day that matter most, so that no matter what comes after that, I at least got that in? So like I coach a lot of parents who have very young kids. In fact, I had several epiphanies with parents this week, moms specifically, who are getting up earlier again. One of whom, I hope it's not too secret to share her technique. Baby wakes up, gives baby a bottle, and now has time while baby's working on the bottle, it goes back to sleep, to be able to do some of her work, her meditation, her writing. And so I encourage you to take and carve out that time for yourself, if at all possible, each and every morning, so that you stay like a happy dino rather than like a Rex. You like how I did that? T-Rex. All right, do we have any more questions here?
Yes. Sammy writes, "Good morning. I'm Sammy from India, Mumbai. I've just joined now. It's 5:21 a.m. here. Good morning. I want to become a billionaire, trillionaire, and world's richest person. Can you assist me on this?"
Sammy, that is a brilliant question, and I do send you all sorts of love and energy on your endeavors. The trick to become a billionaire, trillionaire, richest person in the world is that your single-minded focus? Is that what makes your heart sing? Is that your driver for each and every breath? So if you want to become a billionaire, trillionaire, richest person in the world, you will have to live an unbalanced life. And that's without judgment. It's okay to be unbalanced to build. I was asking Mitch Horowitz about this many months ago. We were talking about Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. And I was saying, isn't it important for entrepreneurs or for a Bill Gates, a Steve Jobs, to be kind of balanced in their life? And he's like, oh, heck no. And I hope they don't ever become balanced. He's talking more about a metaphorical Steve Jobs rather than somebody who's actually alive today. Because he's saying when people are unbalanced, not unhinged, there's a big difference. They're able to focus all their energy in one area and they create tremendous things. Doesn't necessarily mean they're the happiest, though they may be. But it's sort of like a Warren Buffett. And if you read the story of Warren Buffett, he's not necessarily the greatest at personal interactions, particularly with his kids. And this isn't to pick on him. It's just that what he is living, breathing, and thinking about each and every moment is, how do I make more money? What do I do for an investment? What do I do over here? What do I do over there? And that's his single-minded focus or his single-minded purpose. So that's where you get to be as well. Now, I would study people like Warren Buffett. I would study some of the other richest billionaires in the world and see what you can learn from them. But then I would also challenge you to ask, how can I serve others? Because the energy is very different than it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, even 5 years ago. And I believe we are less likely to become truly successful and truly wealthy these days unless we are helping others. If not, it's like having a very unstable foundation underneath us. And so we want to grow that foundation strong by looking at how we can help others. Now, we had a really fun interview a few months ago. Do you remember the gentleman from, he's from, I believe it's Sweden. He's from Sweden and he moved to the Philippines. Do you remember which guest that was? Who then became a either a millionaire or a billionaire in Phuket, Thailand. Excuse me, not the Philippines, in Phuket, Thailand.
His name is escaping me.
So when and if we get that, we'll put that online here. So I would research the greats. People have done that. And I would say, what systems can I put in place in my life to help bring out my best and to help me learn about money, dream about money, swim in money, bless my money. Gosh, I love the interview, Happy Money by Ken Honda. And then what steps can I do each day to take forward for money? But before you do that, I want you to step back and ask yourself, why is it I want to become the richest? What is my driver? Because if the driver is just to prove something to somebody else, that may or may not work. If your driver is to get even with others, chances are that's very slippery ground. If your driver is, I feel it in every cell of my being, this is what I was meant to do and achieve for me, for my heart, and that's what makes my heart sing. All right, let's go for it with everything that we've got. I wish you the best on this journey. And next question.
Great question from Carol, who writes, at what point is not being busy just laziness? Asking for a friend.
I like it whenever somebody says asking for your friend. I get it, Carol, but we have to be suspicious anyway. But with that said, there are people who burn out at work who need time to recover. That is important. If you are stuck on the couch, you may need some help overcoming that inertia and getting going. But if we can find something that makes your heart sing, then it is hard to be too lazy. I've been watching a documentary. At first, it was really fun. At this point, it's really painful. And we'll see if I can make it through it or not, on John Lennon and Yoko. And 9/10 of the time, actually more than that, I think they did a great international bed-in where they refused to get out of bed for weeks to protest Vietnam War and some other military action. They were actually serious about it. But they were spending 9/10 of their time in bed in being. But then at the same time, they made songs like and albums like Imagine, which is one of the most all-time greatest, most beautiful songs, I'm biased, in the world. And it stood this test of time, coming out of the beingness, not the doingness. Now, Carol, if we come from a Western world background, particularly if we come from the corporate world, it is almost impossible for us to, it's almost like taking like Mother Teresa. Oh God, that would be awful. The idea that I just came up with, Mother Teresa, and giving her a weapon and saying to be mean. It's just not possible to say, to go from being doing our whole lives to being lazy. It's probably not possible now. The key consideration is how does Rex over here, Dino, define laziness? Because for one person, being lazy can be doodling in a sketch pad. For another person, you ever feel nervous when you got teeth in the face, even if they're stuffed teeth? For another person, that same sketch pad can be the most important activity of the day. So if I go back to Don Miguel Ruiz, a brilliant, brilliant author, Four Agreements, so many other amazing books, and we had him on the show, he talks about the government of our mind. The government of our mind is the president, is the legislature, is the judge, the jury, and the police who carry out the orders. That we develop rule sets in our head of who we are, what we can do, and what we can't do that aren't ours. And so we may find ourselves feeling like we're lazy, but we get to challenge those assumptions and ask, whose rule is that? Where did it come from? Is that true? Now, if you find you're sitting on the couch eating bonbons day after day, week after week, month after month, you probably do get to challenge that. Or you may ask yourself, Why am I feeling so unfulfilled that nothing's lighting me up? And what can I do to find something that truly is lighting me up? Brilliant, brilliant question. What's the next question we have here?
Well, Zach asks.
Yes. Sup. Word, Zach. I had a friend who wrote on this art thing that I got from my bar mitzvah, 13 years of age, rite of passage as a Jewish boy. And he said, Michael, you're a nutty kid, but a good nutty kid. And Zach just wrote, Mick, you're still a spaz, yay, which I think is about the same thing. We all get to embrace, embody our inner nut, our inner kid, our inner Jim Carrey, or whatever that looks like to us. We've had that pushed down, tamped down for too long. And that woohoo-ness is necessary. It's fuel for all of us.
I'd like to know what your ideal day and maybe even week looks like.
Ooh, that's a brilliant question. And I don't pretend to have a perfect answer to that yet. However, it would have a lot more time playing, running, probably some cycling in there, lots more time sitting outside on the deck, lots more time with the kiddies. It would involve interviews. It would involve coaching. And I would love, love, love to have some writing back in there as well. I would front load my exercise and my meditation. To me, those go hand in hand. Have movement with non-movement, stillness with action. There'd be a lot more loving with the two of us getting to spend time. We don't have to be anywhere or do anything. I'm talking PG here. But just get to be. And there would still be lots of time in the creative process. I'd like to take classes. I'd like to take a singing class. I'm jealous of that. I don't need to take the painting class. Oh, I'd love to take a singing class.
I think you can come with me.
Really? Ooh, that sounds fun. And I would like to also, and this is the challenge, I don't know how to fit, unless it's part of the work, fit some travel in there. And travel is something I only want to do when my batteries are recharged. When they're not charged up, I'm like, I don't need to go anywhere or do anything because I naturally want to balance back into the beingness. And I would like 3 days off a week. Off. That will allow me to recharge my batteries for everything I want to do. Now, I do realize as I'm saying this, that's too much. So I get to work. My too much-itis is coming out. that is still too much in a week. But I'm a creator. I guess it's all how we define ourselves. I love to create. And I love to share with the world. And I want to help change the world. And so figuring out how to balance that is something I get to work on as well. So what is it that Dino wants to share here? Because Dino is getting really up close and personal with me.
Well, he was wondering if he would go on vacation with you.
Dino has gone on several vacations. Well, Dino went on the trip on the West Coast, and then Dino was in the front of the moving truck. I can only imagine what people are doing. They're driving down the road into Kansas. They look up, and there's this dinosaur looking out the window at them.
Okay, we have a great question from Amy who writes, can you talk about how to visualize a more creative future?
Ooh, that's a brilliant question, Amy. How do I visualize a more creative future? If you are struggling, I would do a very binary yes-no exercise, Amy. I would say, do I want to travel or do I want to stay home? Oh, I want to travel. I want to get some travel in my future. Do I want to go to Mumbai, as we have somebody here from Mumbai? Do I want to go to Australia? Oh, I'd rather go to Mumbai. Do I want to go to Mumbai or do I want to go to Nepal? I want to go to Nepal. And so start asking yourself these very binary questions and see what comes up. Do I want to stay at home? Do I want to go back to work? Do I want to work for a 9-to-5 job? Do I want to work for something flex time? Do I want to work with kids? Do I want to work with Kids are artists. This is a strange example, but you get my point. Keep asking yourself these questions to ferret out the answers. Even the most walled up person has some idea of what they like and don't like. So if you say, I'm depressed, I'm sad, I don't like anything, well, I can ask you these kind of questions, and you're going to find out very quickly there are still things you would prefer, preferences that you have over not. Oh, I'm so depressed. I don't want anything. All right, would you like chocolate ice cream or would you like pickle juice? Oh, are you kidding me? Give me the chocolate ice cream. Aha, it's in there. So I want to challenge you to ask yourself all the sorts of questions. The biggest challenge that I have when getting people to dream is that we dream too small. So I want you to challenge yourself to come up with outrageously large dreams. I remember when we wrote out our vision board when we were living on Maui, which was magical too, although we were really struggling there. And we wrote out a vision board and we said, someday we want to live on the side of the mountain with nature in our backyards, surrounded by animals, with trails at our feet. It sounded huge to us at the time. Well, here we are just a few years later, living on the side of a mountain with animals all around us and trails at our feet. And we get to challenge ourselves to think even bigger. This isn't meaning I need more stuff, I need more money, I need more. What this is to say is that make your dreams outrageously large. I may be misquoting here. I'm going to give the credit to Leonardo da Vinci. Shoot for the stars and you may just get the moon. So brilliant, brilliant question. And I think Hakan is in Amsterdam. Duh, I just passed by. Well, welcome. So we've got people from all around the world right now. So yeah, I don't think he means passed on. I think he means I just stomped by real briefly.
Oh.
Okay. What's another question that we have?
Zach asks, are you guys thriving, centered, happy?
Yes, that's a brilliant question. I think on our better days, we are thriving, imbalanced, and happy.
I was going to say the centeredness comes and goes.
Yes, absolutely. And I do believe that is more and more, though that's a challenge of the more-itis, is it's easy for us to get overwhelmed. And we get to continuously ask ourselves, how does this serve us? Is this necessary? Is there a way to cut back? Sometimes I have to step forward more to cut back. There's another employee we want to bring on board this week. I am waiting until the end of the week where we have a brief pause and some interviews to be able to bring him on board. But then I have to invest that time and that training. So sometimes I do have to be doing a little bit more to do less. But overall, I feel we're trending in an extremely positive direction. I'm going to throw this question to you. How do you feel about, are we thriving, centered, and happy?
Well, I just said, well, I guess in the comments I said that we are thriving. Mm-hmm. And as far as centered goes, it comes and goes.
Yeah.
I did specify that we are grounded, which we weren't when Zach married us.
So Zach Bergen, who is on here, was the officiator, a fish. He was the fish and de facto minister, so to speak. We'll call him a rabbi, a minister, whatever we want to call it. He married us. He literally married us. And so he has seen us go through thick and thin. And I would say we have evolved and come a long way since then.
And he visited us on Maui when we were like on a raw diet and spinning and operating in the dark because we were afraid to use electricity.
So we were literally in the dark. I went for a run with him. I tripped, I fell, I broke ribs. Oh my God. I was fragile. I was very, very fragile at the time. Maybe we...
physically and emotionally.
Yes, absolutely. And that took a course correction, first 2x4s from the universe cracking open in my heart, you getting sick, but it also took stepping way back, going to really automatic writing, I believe, is what saved us, that and your parents. And I would give them so much credit but we got to step back and write to our heart and say, what's going on? Where are we off track? What is the doingness we need to stop doing? And where do we get to go from here?
Mary writes about getting a new job.
Yay!
She says, coming back from a long rest in a way, but moved and took a lot of energy. I know that move was coming for a while. So I want to find new income while unpack and recover from health issues. Need to get past anxiety about getting a job.
So first off, congratulations on the move, Mary. That is, all moves are incredibly traumatic. They're one of the top stressful events we can have, which I don't know if we've given ourselves credit or not. You know that emptying that storage unit, in essence, was a move. That was massive. So Mary, the question is, can we get you settled in just a little bit before we get you working so that we're not in doing too much here at the moment? And if not, is there a way to get the house in somewhat of an order so that you can breathe easily when you come home from work? And then I would start writing about the fears. I would start, going into automatic writing. I would start doing exercises like EFT tapping to look at the fear and to start to peel layers of the fear away, realizing fear and anxiety are energy without an excitement, without forward direction. Once you come up with a direction, once you come up with a basic plan and you start stepping forward, you start applying, you start going online, you start whatever that next step is, a lot of that fear starts to melt away. Specifically, we had a guest on about fear recently. We were talking about what's the difference between fear and anxiety. And fear is being afraid the saber-toothed tiger is going to jump you. That is scary, but we can work with that chemically, emotionally, spiritually, we can work with the tiger that we know about. What's worse is the tiger we don't know about, and that's anxiety. It's being worried without a definite reason. That's the reason that horror movies, dark movies, and zombie movies, of course, which is horror, and the news are so popular today, because then we have something to focus our anxiety on. We transform our anxiety to fear, and now we see the saber-toothed tiger, and we can actually calm down a little bit into that. But when we don't know what's coming, that's the scariest thing of all. So I'd encourage you to look at where this fear and anxiety is coming from, and I'd encourage you to step forward toward your dreams, Mary, and don't sell yourself short. And when it comes to time of negotiation, I think it's 8 or 9 times out of 10, women don't ask for as much as men do and settle for far, far less. And Mary, I'm very serious here. I do not want you settling for less. You ask for what you're worth. It will make you happier. It's not being selfish, and it will make your employer happier because you won't be resentful when you're in there and you're going, why didn't I ask for more? So ask for what you're worth. Time for a few more questions. What do we have?
Sammy asked if you had any books to recommend. Inspirational books, world business problem solving thoughts by billionaires. So I mentioned Andres Pira. He was the Swedish gentleman who moved to Phuket, Thailand.
Excellent.
And Dr. John DeMartini, I'm not sure he's a billionaire, but he's a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, and he rules with billionaires. There is a one that we just had on audio recently from Ireland, I believe it was, who is an immigrant who's made it big in real estate in the U.S. And he is certainly worth listening to as well. I would get Happy Money by Ken Honda to learn about how to change your relationship with money. It's as important as any investing book out there. Do you any of the books you've read on money recently that we should mention?
Those aren't by billionaires. That's more about the nuts and bolts of saving and investing.
But that's important.
I don't remember the authors, but I've got those books here.
Okay, excellent. So,
in the meantime, Amy asks, she's reminded of your saying, kind, gentle, easy, good. Can you talk about that and more of how the universe gets our attention?
So yes, beautiful question, Amy. The universe gets our attention very, very quietly at first. Actually, with that internal voice that I try to help you crank up with automatic writing, or is a big part of my coaching work, is to make this tiny little voice in here kind of booming loud, like a burning bush, like Moses's bush, so that you can hear that and see that, rather than the universe having to crank up the volume. I instead help you to crank up that volume the kindest, gentlest, easiest, best way as well. If universe can't get our attention from that small, still voice that never steers us wrong, first, your body, you might get some aches and pains, or you might have some challenges at work, or you might have some personal disagreements, or you might have some drama. That doesn't get your attention. The universe starts to crank it up even more. Now we've got some real drama going on, or maybe it's almost losing a job, or maybe it's getting terrified about something bad happening, or maybe it's your body really starting to speak loudly at you. Now let's say you don't listen. Out comes the 2x4 with love from the universe. A large wooden plank to whack you, either metaphorically, where you have kind of a dark night of the soul, or you lose a job, or you break a bone, or you get the C word, or you get some other illness or a heart attack, heaven forbid. Something really big happened for a massive course correction with love. I believe all of this comes from the universe with love to help you get back on track. And going back to kind, gentle, easy, good. If you are listening, so I had all of these, particularly 2x4s from the universe. We took inventory many years ago and counted at least 36 small events leading up to massive events. I wasn't listening, and I was keeping pushing. That's my MO. And so right now I'm actually saying, how can I back off? What can I do? Which is why we are taking more dates. We are going out more times. We are going to music.
Huh.
So, and I get to do even more of not doing quickly.
I think really the first half of our marriage, the first 5 years, and then we kind of transitioned in the middle there. We were definitely living for the future. We weren't actually enjoying life in the present moment.
And it's interesting. So we got a massive check from Random House years ago for books. And instead of going, woohoo, let's celebrate, let's step back. I don't know about you. I know what I said.
No, I don't know what you said.
I said pedal to the metal. We've got this contract. Now we've got to see what we can do for them.
Oh, yeah.
Now we've got to really work.
Yep.
We hadn't been working before. You're right. Now we've got to really work. And so universe said, we're going to really put a stop to this. So kind, gentle, easy, good is my way of expressing to the universe that I want things given to me in the gentlest, easiest fashion for my highest good, for the highest good of all, without any pain or discomfort. Or if pain and discomfort must come, may they come in the easiest way possible, because I am listening. Now, it's sometimes not possible to learn without a little bit of discomfort. Why are we going to shift if everything is perfect? But we can ask for that. We can renegotiate our contract with the universe and say, I don't need it to come in the most painful way. I am going to listen with everything that I've got. Next question. You want to show Sammy these books real quickly?
Yeah, so this is first one, The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. It started out as a series of letters to his daughter who didn't really care about saving money. Mm-hmm. She was in her early 20s at the time. And then he published the letters on a blog, and the blog became tremendously popular, mm-hmm. So they turned it into a book. The other one is I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. It's very practical, especially for millennials. So if you've been saving, investing, it's probably not going to be that useful to you. But if you're new to it, then this is a great book. And he really teaches you how to automate create systems and automate everything so that when your paycheck comes in, before it even reaches your checking or savings account, you've got money dispersing to either like a Roth IRA or 401k or...
And explaining what those are for people.
Yeah. So that's great if you want to get started. And then I haven't really read this one yet. I just skimmed through it. I've heard a lot about Dave Ramsey. So this seemed like a good book of his to start with.
And then let's add one that our mentor gave us many years ago, who was our best man at the wedding that Zach officiated, which is The Richest Man in Babylon, which talks about the importance of paying yourself first and starting a 10% account, and how incredibly valuable and powerful of a tool that is for you.
Yes, and all these books talk about how people often think they don't have enough money to start saving. But I think all the guests that you've had on about money and these authors all say, start with something. Even like $10 a month, if that's all you can afford. Better if it could be $10 a week. And chances are you won't even notice that those $10 are missing. And it just starts adding up. Dr. John DeMartini, he started out with what?
He started out with probably $1 an hour that he was taking and putting aside, which was huge for him. And then
each month he was doubling that amount. That amount.
Yeah, till he talked about on the show. I think he's out. The last he mentioned was $500,000 a month that he was putting aside, which is for many of us a hard amount to wrap around. That's just our savings. Is $500,000 a month.
Yeah.
But what we have to understand is money is energy. Money's not bad. Some say money's not bad, money's not good. I'm going to say money's good. It's positive energy. It's flow. And when we start treating it as such, and we start energetically putting some aside for ourselves and taking care of our money and loving our money, even more money comes in. Just like you said, you don't miss it, but it also helps. Money, we talk about circulation. Money is meant to flow. If we hold on to it tight, if we're afraid of it, or if we're afraid even to let go of it, there's no way for money to come back in. And so a homework assignment I always give all of my coaching clients when it comes to money is to write a letter to money, to your friend money, who you probably haven't treated very well. And I'm going to give props out to Jen Sincero, who talks about this a lot. We had on a show talking about this multiple times. The more that you can get clear about your relationship with money, the more you can heal that and allow that money to flow. You're looking like there's something you want to add, say, or...
There was, but I forgot.
Maybe it will come back.
Anyway, Sammy asked, as coach, which area do you specialize in? Is there anything specific?
So, Sammy, that's a great question. I tend to what I do is pull on the golden thread, which means we'd start one area. So, Sammy, you'd come in and you say, I want to become a millionaire, billionaire. And I go, okay, that's great, Sammy. Let us first help to start to quiet the voices of the mind up here that's going, I need to do this, I need to do that. What about this? What about that? And I have to, and I shoulda, woulda, coulda. And I'm going to help you drop down into here, drop down into the heart, start to hear that first and foremost. Then I'm going to help you start to build a routine in place so that you can step forward. I'm going to help you to become, Jessica hates it when I say it, but I'm become a worm in your mind, helping you to look for negative thoughts and negative patterns in your mind that are holding you back or cause you to actually shoot yourself in the foot. And then I'm going to help you look for energetic blocks or wounds, not helping you kick your feet up on the couch, tell me about your childhood. I'm not a counselor, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, but I am going to look energetically and find out what patterns and blocks you have that are holding you back and help you to remove those as well. So in essence, as I'm helping you tap in on the inside, quiet your mind, I'm helping you rewire your mind. I'm helping you to be able to dream, to help you to be able to gain a vision and help you to get lighter so you can step forward and help you put the practical pieces in place so that you can step forward as well. So I'm not going to say just do it. I'm going to help you come up with a plan, but I'm not just going to help you come up with a plan. I'm going to help you get in flow. Because as you've heard, kind, gentle, easy, good. I don't believe, Sammy, in working harder. I don't believe in working smarter. I believe, how can I help you trip over success? So an example, Sammy, let's say that you said, I want to get to the gym, Michael. And I go, all right, great. Why aren't you getting to the gym? Well, I'm out. I don't really have a set time. Okay, let's come up with a time. Let's get that in the calendar. Let's find what works for you. And you go, that's great, but I'm still not getting to the gym. Why is that? Well, I can't seem to remember my gym shoes. And I go, okay, Sammy, I want to help you get in the flow here. Do you have your gym shoes there? Yeah. All right, let's take your gym shoes and tie them to the front door so that when you go out, you remember your gym shoes. I speak to you next time. I go, Sammy, did you get to the gym? No. Sammy, where are the shoes? They're by the front door. And I coach without judgment. It doesn't matter if you get things right or wrong. We're going to find a way to make it work without judgment. And he goes, Sammy, how do you get to the gym? Oh, I take the car. Is your car there, Sammy? Yeah, it's there. All right, I want you to take your shoes right now and tie them to the steering wheel. That's what I mean about helping you to get in flow or trip over success. I want to take it out of your thinking mind, to make it habitual, to put those micro habits in place so you don't have to think about it. You want to generate your millions and your billions. I want to help you get into that place where you don't have to say, what am I going to do to make money? What am I going to do to make money? What am I going to do to make money? You just step forward and each piece is there because you've worked on it and you put those micro habits in place. Now, there's almost no stone that we leave unturned. This can be meditation. This can be, I'm not a nutritionist, but it can see certainly how can we help you to eat higher energy foods? How can we help you to sleep better? How can we help you to get your body in better physical shape? Because it really is body, mind, spirit. It's a trifecta. The whole thing comes as one. And how can we help you to heal wounds that you have with others, self-forgiveness, cranking up the self-love or the self-like, and helping improve each area of your life. So that I guess would encompass the basics. Is there anything you'd want to add to that or questions you'd want to ask, Jessica?
Do we have time for another question?
Let's do it. I was cutting it off at 6:30, at 6:29. Let's go.
Okay, Meredith says, could you speak about following the flow of energy, about where one's focus is? I'm dealing with grief, death of someone dear to me, and a friend who left me. I'm being present to my feelings, but not wanting to wallow. It's like two legs of grief, a bit different at once.
So Meredith, my heart goes out to you, and I'm going to give you the opposite advice of what you want to hear. I want you to wallow. I want you to go into the sorrow, go into the grief. And there is no such thing as, well, you've had enough grief time, now get back out there. That's bull. It's completely bogus Western thinking of driving, striving, and pushing. No, I want you to take all the time that you need. Now, we all see these movies about people who aren't willing to get back out there and get dating. That's a different story. What we're talking about is mourning. And there is no set period to mourn. Take whatever you need. Cry as many tears, literally, as you possibly can. It's clearing. It's cathartic. It's purging. And be as loving and kind to yourself. Now, yes, after the first few weeks, I encourage you to get out at least little bits and pieces with other people so that we don't generate a feedback loop that spirals us into the ground. But take all the time you need to heal. I know we've had several great guests on grief. Probably the last one was about a year ago. There was a rabbi who talked about grief. There was another guest who talked about grief. I would read about grief, not so much that you follow a set plan or something, or that you say, well, there are certain steps and I have to go by them, but you understand that you're not alone, that we all go through this, and that it is absolutely natural and normal no matter where you are in the process. Then, once you've been going through this process and your energy starts to come back, do what makes you shine. Do what opens up your heart. That's where we want to start. Not somebody saying you need to get out and do this or you need to get out and do that. It may be that the first thing that you need to do is journal and get it all out, maybe shred it and be done with it. or to paint or to draw or to anything else creative in the home away from others before you're ready to put yourself out there. But give yourself the time that you need. There's something you wanted to add?
I think a little clarity, because earlier Zach had responded to Meredith, and he had written, I found that as soon as you realize you're in a feeling, you've probably felt it enough. Acknowledge and move on and create flow. There's always some movement you may create. This approach doesn't nullify your feelings. You still feel, you just don't become them.
So, and I love what Zach is saying in that you can acknowledge your feelings without becoming them. I am experiencing sorrow rather than I am sorrowful. One of them allows you to separate from the experience, feel the experience still. And we had a mindfulness expert on today, Lott Kelly. It was a beautiful interview talking about experiencing our emotions, but then actually to get a global perspective. He called it a big sky perspective, looking down on the emotion and feeling the emotion rather than identifying with the emotion. And I think that is so important. You are not your grief. Now, I might say versus Zach, when you witness your grief, you can still take time with your grief, because I feel that's a healing process, but we don't want to become the grief. Beautiful, beautiful. And thank you, Zach. All right. Anything you want to add, say, let people know about, or tell us the 10-second something on iMeditations?
Yes.
Yeah. What? And then I've got to jump into coaching.
Brave Skull's daughter, who's 7 years old, asked for a kitty cameo. So
all right.
So we've got
So stay tuned. We are going for the kitty cameo, and I can't believe Dino is on the floor. I'm going to do something about that. We cannot have the Dino on the floor. There goes Dino. And who do we have coming over here right now?
Love Puddle.
The Love Puddle is coming over here. And while we have 3 love puddles, nobody has as much chi or pow as Sir Meowsers. Wow, look at that panther. Look at that panther. I am enjoying my cameo, Mama and Dada. He enjoys it now when it comes to Monday, or Monday or Tuesday, and we're taking the picture for the thumbnail. And he comes over here and he loves having his picture taken in all sorts of embarrassing positions. Today, if you look closely at his image, he's wearing a kitty watch, aren't you?
Still?
No.
Oh,
in the image, he was wearing a kitty watch. So there you go. All right, iMeditations 10-second version. I have to run to coaching here. Anything?
It's coming.
It's coming. Are you loving it? Are you enjoying it?
I am enjoying it.
So, and
I'll enjoy it more once it's live.
Excellent. And for our editor who puts all the music to these beautiful meditations, I think he's enjoying it more than anything else. So a big shout out to Misha. Thank you.
Sammy asks, is it a black cat or a panther?
So he is both.
He's a panther to us.
He is a panther to us. And he definitely holds panther energy. Oh, yeah.
Look at those panther eyes.
Oh, my God, look at those panther eyes. All right. So lastly, come on over to patreon.com, patreon.com/Inspire Nation. Come support the show. We love you. Can't thank you so enough for your support. And if you want coaching, I am just about tapped out for the summer, particularly as we're talking about less is more. So if you want to get in for coaching, you need to get in now. Come on over to inspirenationshow.com/coaching. Sign up for a free strategy session to see if coaching is right for you. Remember, less is more. How much can I do less? How much can I step out of the doing-itis right now, or the too much-itis, and how much can I simply be with our version, your version of Sir Meowsers? Thank you. We love you guys so much. Thank you for your amazing questions. Feel free to put any comments or questions you have for next time here below. Let us know how we can help you, and above and beyond all else, shine bright.
And Sammy, the next session is the same day, same time.
Same day, same time next week. We'll look forward to seeing you there, Sammy. So love you guys. Love you, Zach. And Carla. Oh, Carla. Oh. I was
Thanks,
going.
everyone.
Bye.